Greetings all, thedvsmonkey here. Today, we're going to talk about SmallRig because I love SmallRig. I have a ton of SmallRig gear, and from the very first piece that I bought, it's all been spectacular, so I continue to buy it. Now, one of the first things that I got for every camera was an L bracket. So for instance, on my A7 III, there's just this big long thing here, and it comes up on the side. Now what I've done though is that I cut part of it off because it was blocking things on the side of this A7 III, and I didn't like it and I didn't really need it, so I got rid of it. Now the other thing that you can do with the L bracket is that you can attach a bunch of shit to it. So for instance, like this handle, it's a left-sided handle, and in theory all of the cords and stuff are able to tuck in the side there, so you could put it up on the side of your handle here, or your L bracket, and you could use it as an additional brace to hold things. Another thing that I got is an actual handle, that wooden handle that has the little piece here that screws up into the tripod mount, and boom, now you've got a nice handle on the side. It also, as with every other SmallRig, has a number of holes with various thread sizes so that you can put stuff on there. It also has a cold shoe so that you can stick, a light or a microphone or things like that. And what I had done was I had taken this and I put it on the bottom of my Crane, what is this, Crane Plus, so that it was down there like that. And then I was actually using it as a handle so that I could swoop down and get different angles with it, and also help me carry this damn thing, because by the time I put the A7 III on this and everything else, it was really heavy. But this is pretty good. Most of the stuff that they have has multiple sides. Well, two-sided. You can either get a left hand or a right hand or things like that, depending on the gear that you have and the way that you use it. The other thing, like I said, I got L brackets for everything, but then I started actually getting cages for some of the cameras. Now keep in mind, this was through all my Panasonic cameras. They all had L brackets. Some of them had cages too. The L bracket is great because I'm used to a big DSLR, and what it does is it gives you that little bit extra reach down here so that now all your fingers are on the grip, and it's basically the same shape. It allows you to get into the battery and the whatever compartment that you need to get into without having to unscrew it and take it off. Most of them come with their own hex keys buried into them, as well as like on the bottom of this one, it actually has the little flathead thing so that you can screw it in the bottom, and you're not running around looking for a dime or an actual screwdriver. So it's very convenient. They've thought of a lot of stuff and they make it work. Now, like I was saying, I got cages for everything as well as L brackets. So for the most part, because I only have a cheap knockoff battery grip for this A7 III, because I saw enough reviews that I found that it was doable. So I actually got a newer camera grip for the A7 III because it was under $50. And it works just fine. Yes, it feels like a plastic piece of shit, but if you take a little bit of care, you're not going to break it. You can't throw it around, or it will break, and you got to be careful how you screw things in. But it's fine, and it was under $50 compared to the actual Sony grip for the A7 III, which was over $350. Yeah, no way. So Sony sometimes really screws themselves by how expensive their shit is. But I digress. So again, I got L brackets for all the cameras because most of the times I didn't use a grip, and it was very convenient to have that L bracket to be able to connect stuff to it and to give you a better grip. And for me, give you a little bit more weight, because the cameras were always too light. Again, because I was used to like my Canon cameras that had the big grip on it, plus that big 70-200 2.8. So, all right, so back to the cages now. So this is the cage that I got for the A7 III. So it slides in there, and I got it all with all the shit already together. So it's got the handle on the top so that you can hold it. And it also has this HDMI cable holder on the side because Sony, once again, uses that ridiculously like micro USB, or I mean micro HDMI. So it's like that small, really shitty one that apparently breaks all the time. Doesn't give you very good purchase, and it wiggles and wobbles, and it breaks either the cable and or the connection point on the camera. Whereas on my Panasonic G9, it used full-size HDMI, and that thing wasn't going anywhere. But anyways, so that way you can run the cable out, and then that little pincher thing grabs it and holds the cable in place so it's not getting jerked around and rocking back and forth to make that fitting break. But again, as you can see, it's got the little flathead thing there to screw it up into your tripod thing. I've got my Peak Design little holder things on there. That was just so that I could put a strap, like I used to have a wrist strap that I could put on there just to make sure that in case I tripped or something like that and I dropped it, I didn't drop the entire rig. Now here's a universal handle that has basically a hot shoe mount. This isn't that ZV-1, so it doesn't zip in and out of here with the autofocus. It just keeps focusing on my eyeball there. But anyway, so you can screw that down and you can run various things through here. It's got various sized holes with threads and some that don't have threads. And then I got a NATO rail mount for the top, and that is for something like this, which is a monitor holder. And you basically can just, now I won't be able to do it because I'm trying to. You just slide it onto that and then lock it down, and now this monitor mount swivels, it goes back and forth and all that kind of stuff, so you can move the monitor very easily into any angle that you want it to be in. Also very helpful. Now, I don't often film with a monitor on here. I do have this FieldWorld 5-inch monitor, great reviews, and I agree, it's a great little monitor. It's better for run and gun when you're outside, and it does come with a little sun shield so that you can still see it, but it's only a small little 5-inch, which of course is bigger than whatever you've got in your camera, but it isn't like this gigantic monitor when you're trying to run around and run and gun. So I use that when I'm outside. Now, because that's the only one I have, I mostly use it inside, but I do want to get a bigger, like 7-inch monitor for inside here in the studio, just so that it's bigger, because I'm always like, I can't quite see because I'm getting old. All right, so that's that. I have a number of things like this. This is basically, it goes into the hot shoe or a cold shoe or whatever, and then it has this little top thing that swivels around, and you can then screw that into something else. As far as like up on my tripod here that stays in the office, that has one of these, which is I'm gonna start knocking shit over. Is a SmallRig Arca Swiss plate holder, whatever. So you just screw that into whatever device you've got, and now it's a quick release. Now your plate slide in there, you just clamp it down on and off, and you're good to go. It does add weight, so for this gimbal, it added the weight, but it's still worth it, because then you don't have to constantly unscrew everything out of your camera, screw it into that. Now you've just got your little Arca plate, your Peak Design Arca plate, and it slides into that. So I have one of those on the tripod, and I also have the one that's on this gimbal, and it works great. I also have one on this Sony Bluetooth grip. It's a very, very small one. It's the smallest one that I've got. Very light. Same thing though. Good to go there. Now here's my full-size cage for the A6600, and I just bought all this stuff. It's just standard. I get a cage, I get L brackets, I get whatever I need for the camera. Now, I didn't get an L bracket for the 6600 because I knew I was going to be using that for run and gun filming, and I wanted it to be as light as possible. Most of this kind of stuff, or L bracket stuff, is for stills, because you got to have you got to have a good grip on the camera. But I knew that the A6600 was always going to be on something like a tripod, or the the Bluetooth grip or the gimbal or the switch pod or something like that. So I didn't really care about getting an out bracket, but I did, knowing that I was going to be filming, I wanted to have a full-size cage to be able to add a bunch of shit to it seamlessly without any problems. Speaking of gimbal, so, here's my Crane M2, but I also got this quick release, Arca quick release plate to replace the one that comes with the Crane M2. And why did I do that? Because the one for the Crane M2 slides in there, looks roughly the same, but now you have to screw up through the bottom into your camera. With this, now all you gotta do is slide the Arca plate in there and then just tighten it down. Can't tell you how much time that saves you and how easy it makes it to balance and everything, because I can balance this thing in like less than 5 seconds because of that. The other thing that I have a few of is this SmallRig mini tripod. This thing is fantastic. It has a ball head on it, archetype, quick release at the top, and the legs can go like almost flat down to the ground, or you can put it up, like at its super height. Again, I have one of these more or less permanently mounted, very well secured in my 4Runner on the dashboard. So when I'm on the road, I can put my Sony X3000 up there. It's high enough off the dashboard, but low enough so that it doesn't get the rearview mirror or any of that shit, but I can get the entirety of the inside of my 4Runner if I want. And even outside of the windows, because of the wide setting, it works really well. And it's very secure. I do have, it's like this, and this part is back towards the windshield, and I actually have that really, not basic Velcro, but that like really thick plasticky shit, and it goes down there and it snaps that down so that it's not sliding at all. And then these two pieces go out onto the dashboard into little crevices, and it does not move at all. And once you tighten that camera down, it ain't going anywhere. And then I have all my cables routed and zip tied and all that shit. So it's really cool. I have a lot of stuff. I also have one of those like multi-jointed arms that is connected to the shaft of the tripod, and then it comes out and swings around, and it has the elbowed arm for the monitor on it. Comes in very handy. You can move it around in any direction that you want or you need, and once you tighten it down, it doesn't move. Definitely one of the things that I found about SmallRig and why I like them so much is that it's all made really well. There's no corner cutting. I've never had a problem where everything was like, it didn't quite fit like it was supposed to. It's all made for the camera that you bought it for. So all these cages are perfect for the cameras. And again, I've had multiples for my multiple Panasonic cameras, all of my Sony cameras and all that kind of stuff. I don't have it sitting up here, but I actually have my GoPro in a SmallRig cage. So they made it for GoPro as well. And that allows me to just have everything in there, and then I have it mounted onto, guess what, a Peak Design Arca plate, and it also gives you a cold shoe at the top, and that's where I put the Rode Wireless Go stuff so that I can hook it all up the way I've got it. I think I've showed it to you before. If not, whatever, you'll see it sometime. So that's it. That's all I got a lot of SmallRig stuff, and it's because it's fantastic gear. As I told you, I don't know, a couple of videos ago, I got an affiliate link through their program, and I kept forgetting to put it into my videos and post it on my social media. So at this point now, I actually created a Word document that has the affiliate link and all that kind of stuff, and it has a link to my kit.co that shows you all the camera gear that I use. As far as cameras and lenses and things like that, and to my actual photography website, so that I wouldn't forget it. So now every time I do the video and I'm editing, I cut that into the description so that it's there. And that's all I got, because I'm not sponsored by anybody, because who am I, right? But I do have that affiliate link. And obviously, I shot this video to show you how much I really like SmallRig stuff. And I'm showing you all the stuff that I have. That doesn't include all the stuff that went away. because once I got rid of a camera, I got rid of the L brackets and all that kind of stuff. I have gotten a lot of SmallRig stuff over the past 2 years, and it's because it's good stuff. You can't go wrong with it. They do have stuff in various, like you can get stuff from BH Photo, Adorama, Amazon, or directly from their store. A lot of times I get stuff on Amazon if it shows that it's in stock, and for the most part it usually is, but if you're getting it directly from SmallRig, it's coming from China. So it's gonna take a while. Not as long as you'd think, but you're not gonna have it next day. So keep that in mind. But if you get it on Amazon and it shows that it's in stock, I think the Amazon rules apply, and I have literally gotten stuff either overnight or, with a 2-day free Prime delivery. And that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about. SmallRig is awesome. Do yourself a favor, spend the extra money for it instead of buying shitty knockoff stuff off of Amazon, because you'll get shitty knockoff stuff from Amazon instead of this awesome stuff by SmallRig that is made incredibly well. That's all I got for you today. Thanks for joining me. Like, subscribe, and all that shit. And remember, kids, forward and up.